Okay, we're done.
Does anybody not know the name of this bike?
You can leave now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Riemann and Iron Horse. James, the interviewer, hadn't come in. Adam was just chatting away.
Tenfold in Wales.
The Mecca.
The Mecca,
You should have come to Glamar up in Scotland then. We'd have took you some nice roads.
I had like 20 seconds of off-road in Scotland. No, but it didn't matter, it's beautiful up there. Has everyone ridden the trails?
Today?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Just here to drink beer and meet people, walk around.
You got to be pretty warm in that.
Yeah, walking around in it.
Thanks.
Where'd you go to in Ireland, Dan?
So I got the ferry to Belfast off Cairn Ryan out of Scotland to Belfast, and then some Irish lads that I met here last year. I found them in the GoPro arena because they had Warhorse shirts on, and I went and met them. And then, long story short, they said, if you're coming back to ABR, come to Ireland for a ride. And they sent me some coordinates, and I ended up in the low salt mountain. I don't know how you pronounce it. You call lakes lochs or something? Loch. Scottish is loch, but it's spelled different in Ireland. Loch. In Scotland, but Ireland it's L-O-U-G-H.
Same pronunciation.
Same thing, loch.
Call them puddles, you know?
Lake salt. And it was a pretty epic section. No gates, nothing, and I just wandered in there, thought, wow, I'm riding some half decent off-road. Met some dudes on trail bikes in there, and just played around a bit, and then headed south to meet up with these Irish lads who were on XRV 750s. Same colour scheme as both of them. So the white and red and the purple and pink. And then they gave me an Irish welcome at one of the bars.
You were fucked then.
That was a big night. And then straight on the ferry to out of Rosslare, across to Pembroke.
Yeah.
And then jumped on the Tep. And I was like, come on, when does this begin? I was just riding through like weed tunnels for forever. And once I crossed out, I forget the name of it, but the Tep that sort of starts to head north up into Snowdonia, yeah, it just turned into like hard enduro. It was brilliant, yeah, but I just love it. The hard drives are filling up with epic footage, and morale was high, and it's a good way to finish the tour to get here. So,
whereabouts in Scotland did you go? I think we were literally days apart when you were up there.
NC 500.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the top, and then I think you went up the middle. You went up by Loch Shen.
I did. I got that out of the crate. So it was all rushed because the bike was delayed. Shipping, they can't even give you a date.
Right.
It's just like, maybe it'll be there that month.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had it heaps in advance, so I lost a whole week of the trip. Didn't know really what I was going to do. Just hit the ground running and ride around the UK. And then I did a post on my Facebook saying I was soon to be reunited with the horse.
Yeah.
Literally packed my bags driving to Perth to jump on the plane. And some dude that lives in Scotland posted a picture of his Kajiva elephant, trick modded thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, when you're in Scotland, come and you got to come and ride or something. And I just messaged him, but I don't have time to look at anything. I'm going to meet you, show me where to ride. And I met the lad, and he
His sound boy.
We're right,
It was
we
just
don't
a
need
follower.
you.
He was like, he must
I'm in my
have.
seat.
Oh, is this your seat?
Oh,
It's the hot seat.
Can't get the microphone out.
Long story short, 4,500 Ks to here, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. Wales was
Adam, that was my first question.
yes.
Giving it all away.
Yeah. You like it?
Do you want to pick up? Do you know what they put? This tent is the furthest away from a toilet you can possibly be at the festival, I think, in any one spot. So it's been a dash. Can I get you to pick up your microphone, sir?
Oh yeah. It feels like we're just in a tent.
It's a very plush tent, though.
Intimate tent. Oh, that's better. Okay.
That's it. That's it. I don't think I need to introduce you. You're quite a popular guy, aren't you?
I already given the rev up on the Iron Horse.
It sounded good. It sounded good.
That kind of set the mood. I think.
That's it. Has anyone here not heard of Adam Riemann? Me or Adam? Adam.
Oh, is that better?
We've got microphones that you need to kind of almost touch to be able to use. Okay. So they need to be incredibly close.
I'll get the hang of this.
Do you know what? Do a swap.
Is that better? Well, yeah. Okay. All right.
Just naturally a loud mouth. Mate, it's good to have you on stage. We spoke yesterday as well, didn't we? We spoke last year, and I never tire of chatting to you about motorbikes and travel, because you create some of the most inspiring, entertaining, and well thought out motorcycle content there is out there today. I feel as if I'm flirting with you, because every time I talk to you I just tell you how great you are. Do you ever get a bit bored of it?
I think it's all about the content and the colour and, you know, the crazy adventures. I mean, when I started the channel, I was literally hidden behind the helmet, and I was just that guy on that bike, and that guy that did that, and that guy that did a wheelie in front of the pyramids, and no one really knew me, and I didn't have to give much away. And the only real personality that may have come through was when I started doing the narration. But then all of a sudden everyone wanted to be a YouTuber, and they were vlogging and pointing cameras at their faces, and I had to evolve and start to do that and start to give more of myself just to stay relevant. And I to this day I don't think I'll ever be comfortable with it, but I've worked out that I just have to go my own way and be myself, and you're never going to please everyone. You're better off just staying true to what you want to create. And I find if I'm having a good time, if I'm stoked on the shots and stoked on the riding and, you know, the people I meet, generally that content goes better.
So this hasn't got awkward yet. We're all right.
I like you, James. I actually put in a request to have my, you know, stage chats with you.
Yeah, right. Don't get too. This is now getting a bit awkward. I'm a happily married man. But anyway, you guys were chatting as I dashed back from the loo about what you've been up to in the UK on this beast out here. So for anyone that didn't hear, can you let us know you've covered a lot of miles in not much time, haven't you?
Yeah, 4,500 kilometres. I know you guys are miles, but I'll get it wrong if I'll just speak in K's. Day one, I was just telling them how the shipping was delayed and blah, 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 and I didn't really have a plan. And then I wouldn't normally do it, but it was so last minute. I connected with a follower on Facebook. He had a Kajiva elephant in Scotland, and he was right up the top, and I thought, that thing looks trick. It looks like the nemesis to the Iron Horse, which it is, because these are the bikes that were fighting for Dakar wins in the 90s. The XTZ Super Tenere, the XRV, Kajiva elephant, and the R80 GS, they were the ones, right? So I thought, whatever, it's got to be a good storyline. Meet up with this complete stranger who's a Polish Scottish dude, and a Polish guy that lived in Scotland.
Was there? Do I suspect there was a lot of drinking involved with that mix of cultures?
No, he eased into it, and he wasn't a big drinker, and I just sort of shit. I got to get up there and put in 800 Ks day one. Once I got it in the crate, I thought, you always think you've got this time frame mapped out. But I didn't get out of Feltham, Heathrow until like midday, and just navigated the motorways and the trucks, and you know, I built this bike and shipped it away, like it just vanished. And then getting to know it, dodging trucks up the motorway out of London. But I did it. I got into Scotland to Avamore at about 9 o'clock at night, 800k day. I don't like to do that shit, but I had a very compressed window and just needed to start up the top, and then pretty much worked my way down. Saw some beautiful parts of Scotland, and yeah, had kind of like people to connect with in each country. Scotland, Ireland,
country,
Wales. Is Wales its own country?
Are there any Welsh people here? I think the answer is yes.
Well,
Yes.
Wales, honestly, until I rode the tracks, it finally hit home why so many of the best off-road enduro riders in the world come out of the UK, because that landscape, that terrain, the hills and the rocks, and it's just so wet and so challenging, and I love that stuff. Like, it made up. One day in Wales with Lel Pavey, he just pointed me through all the hard shit, and it just put the biggest smile on my face. I'm so proud of that bike. It got through all of it, and I didn't wreck it. I don't want to damage the thing. It has. This is the first of many adventures. That's now my sleeper agent that I'm going to send to different countries. Go home, lick my wounds, plan the adventure, and then roll in, pull it out of the crate, and travel through that country. So UK has been the first project for the Iron Horse, and this is the tail end of it, the ABR.
The culmination.
Of part one.
And have you been filming along the way then? You're creating a video for this trip, are you?
I wouldn't have just been floating around.
No. Some people have a holiday.
Yeah, no, if I'm on holiday, I'd rather be doing it with my kids. No, it was just work, and that's what I think I mentioned before. My morale went up once I hit Wales, because I was just banking so much off-road gold with the drone stuff, the GoPro stuff. I just love showcasing the performance of the bikes. You know, this whole YouTube thing, personality sells, but I would still rather show the legends of, you know, show the performance of the bikes than just me talking to the camera all the time. But I'm learning, I'm working it out. You have to try and feed the algorithm, because that's what's providing the life for my kids. So yes, I've filmed the whole lot, and the end of the 4-part series, I guess it is going to be, will be here at the ABR. Nailed some mad shots just before with your film crew out on the trail.
Yeah.
Got shut down by some marshals. I apologised to them. I said, look, I got to go. I got to get on stage, and I just fired up the horse and took off. But they'll get over it.
We might be filming this. Just we might need to cut that bit.
Yeah, they were good lads. They were. I hate pulling this diva card like it's bullshit, but I'm trying to. Everything I've done, like my whole lap of the UK, has just been pointing the journey towards the ABR, and I think what you guys have created here is just magnificent. It is an event like nothing else. So I'm grateful to be back here.
Mate, we love her, but that brutal honesty, is that something that is really important, that runs through everything you do, because it feels like it when you watch your stuff?
Yeah, it has to be now, and especially when it comes to the educational stuff. Like, I'm influencing people to do things, to buy bikes, to wear gear, or whatever it is. But for me, when I was a magazine journalist, like writing features and testing all the bikes, like I was all these bikes out there, but in the motocross enduro scene, I was affecting, you could tell in Australia, you were affecting the sales of bikes, or credibility was everything. So for me, I maintained a commitment to be racing, to be riding out there alongside, not, you know, just mid-pack, but out there on the front line, putting these bikes through what they're designed to, and being able to translate to an audience, to my readers, exactly why the pros are riding them the way they are, and which bikes are capable of doing that. So that, for me, it is all about credibility. And if people are buying something or doing something to their bike because of my videos, then I want to know that even if I had Toby Price sitting with me, or, you know, Chucky, or Daniel Milner, or Stefan Merriman, I've done a lot of time with these boys and learnt with them, and I just no, they're not going to question it. And as long as I know I'm saying shit that I have learnt from the front line, then I'll put it out there and I'll sleep well. And I'll get the warriors going, oh, but you know, you shouldn't do your chain tension like. Good luck, mate. You just do your thing. You know what I mean? So I need to know that if I'm putting myself online and the things I do are influencing people, then I built that old bike and I rode it 4.5 hours. That's it. That's me at the front line. I'm never just going to fly to the ABR, hop out of a taxi, sit on stage and hit the beer tent and fly out. This is an adventure bike rider festival, and me creating these adventures and putting my putting my money where my mouth is. This is exactly how I like to do it. Like I'll ride there. Did the Norden from the Husky factory last year, 6,500 Ks. Just scraped into the stage with you. You remember that one?
Minutes to spare,
Yeah.
sweaty, muddy, dusty.
But you know what I mean? It's like people just go, okay, well, he probably knows what he's on about, you know?
I think you probably do. You probably do. Can you tell us a little bit more about this bike out here? How did you find it? What have you done to it? But also, do you enjoy that process of putting the bike together, reviving it? Because you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
You've got a lot on. Or is it, I just need to get this done because I want to get out and do the riding?
Yeah, well, get it on the ship to get here in time for the ABR. That could quite have easily not been here. It could have still been at sea, like just landing in Davenport now, whatever the shipping yard was. No, I discovered the war horse in Norway, fell in love with it, shipped it to Australia, and then with all that hysteria that kind of erupted out over the XRVs, I got thousands of messages from people coming in. Just couldn't deal with all of them, but I remember one saying, mate, I see you shipping it back home. If you need help with the rebuild, I've got 2 of them. And I thought, what the hell? I've only found out about this bike traveling halfway around the world. They never imported them into Australia. So this person is obviously he was Dutch. He moved to Australia, he imported his own, he met another guy that bought that bike from France, rode it on a big tour. He also imported it back to Australia, much older guy. They met, because they're like the only 2 XRV riders in the country at the time probably, struck up a friendship. The owner of that one was much older. He passed away. His wife gifted that one to the Dutch guy. The Dutch guy now had 2. That was just rusting away in his shed, and he messaged me saying, I got parts. The Warhorse was still at sea. I thought, I need another one. I'm going to ride the Warhorse around Australia. I went and saw this guy, saw it. It was in much worse condition, this one. It was rusty and ugly and just a neglected old XRV, and I talked him into selling it to me. Got the Warhorse home, took off around Australia, and I thought, that's enough for this one. I just want to dress it up, retire it for light, Sunday duties, going to the pub, visiting mates. This one, I'm gonna build it up into a world beater, and I thought, all right, I'll get some decent suspension in it. So there's a mob called Buono Racing in Italy, classic Italian rally riders that are just so into it, and they've configured the whole triple clamp, front end, fairing, Öhlins shock to match that bike, and then they give you options for your settings. And I said, I just want it full off-road, and it really has transformed the bike. Like, it's still a big heavy bike and it's a classic. You kind of want to look after it, but it'll run harder than most of the standard stuff out there today, bar the KTM 890, I would say. Like a T7 standard out of the crate, the horse will outrun it.
You'd fancy your chances.
Oh, not horsepower, it's only 62 horsepower.
Yeah.
It's an old Aggie engine, but you don't need any more. But just the way yeah, and it's good to know, because I went bare minimum. I put a tent, a sleeping bag, and a mattress on the back, probably 8 kilos of weight, and I had 2 6-litre Lone Rider bags on the crash guards, and my camera gear in the backpack, and that was it. That's how I did UK. And I thought, if I don't get any accommodation, I can just put the tent out. But I've hotel hopped and stayed in a heap of old pubs in Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. The last one in Wales, I forget the name of it. 1616 it was established. Medieval big front door with the big block of wood that locks you in, and I could just go off on a tangent about the history of this place. You guys don't even notice. You live in it.
It's everywhere.
I feel like I'm in a movie when I'm riding around the UK. It's just...
Do you feel at home when you're here? When you come over here, do you sort of appreciate the fact that we've got so much contrast in such a small area when, you know, back home it's stunning, but you ride some big distances in the outback with similar scenery, don't you?
Yeah, and exactly, there is a huge contrast, like from the Highlands in Scotland and then coming down into Ireland, the combination. I just love the castles and the old buildings and the combination, the farms, the amount of work that has gone in over centuries of people living here and carving out a life. You really do have some fairy tale like landscapes, and people are just hustling and bustling through it like they don't know any different. But I'm blown away by around every corner, and because you're not really going anywhere, you don't have to do 1,000 kilometers to be see something new. It's just happening around every corner, and there's a lot of people, big population, all crammed in, and it is a very different world, because Australia's so big and we live on the coast. Sure, you got communities and farms inland, but you're all in here. You know, you don't have to.
We'll get on most of the time.
Seemingly, I'm learning about the feuds between
Families,
rivalries, villages,
football teams,
borders, football teams. had some angry people that don't like motorcycles splitting the lanes and all the rest. But I'm working it out. You know, I'm just trying to get through unscathed and not offend anyone. And I am in your country, but I do feel at home here for the best part. Speak English. That's a start.
It's good. It is good. Do you? I spoke to you yesterday on stage, and a lot of people here might not have been there yesterday because we opened the gates up to more people today. But you said one of the things you love most about riding in the outback is because there's no one there. And I think my question was, I think you portray Australia better than anyone I've seen in the way that it makes me want to go and explore and discover it. Once you're back there in the outback, do you feel a sense of relief? Does all the stress drain away after you've done a trip?
Yeah, well, I live in the southwest corner, which is rural, and it's still a 3-hour drive from Perth, so it starts to thin out. And my farm is probably 15 minutes from the nearest town, and a school bus comes out and picks up my kids from the end of a gravel road, and there's just cows and rolling green hills, and the back of my property is state forest with an epic trail that you can ride for hours, and I'm landlocked. So that was the number one criteria for me buying that property, was I just don't even want to see my neighbour.
Do you know your neighbour?
Yeah, we're all good. They're good, and for that reason, because you're just not in each other's face. And yeah, I do. It's sort of coming into and Perth is low in population by European and UK standards, but I do. The outback is interesting because I mentioned yesterday, we don't often have to be accountable for ourselves, like in terms of just basic survival. You cartwheel your bike while you're on your own, you're done. Like riding through the outback and riding out into that vast nothing, it's a headspace that is healthy to get into. It's like, no one's coming for me, no one's helping me out. A game. Trust the bike, trust your setup, and once you're in that zone and you're traveling, I've said it before, if there's nothing to freak out about, then don't freak out and just enjoy it. And you can be 400 kilometers from any fuel source or the next person, but your only friend becomes your bike. I know that sounds strange, but it's just like, just start and just keep going, because it's pretty lonely out here if it stops, and you don't want to have to hit I do have Garmin InReach. When I'm out of service, I can send I'm all good location message to the missus, and that's the dad in me now, well, the dad that I am. And when I was younger, geez, I didn't care. It was just chasing the opportunity. I didn't care about insurance and what's all that. I was racing Erzberg and just flying around by doing all this stuff just to get the opportunity, whatever it took. Now I'm sort of, all right, make sure you got water, make sure all your nav is good, make sure the chain tension's right, and the sun plug's not going to, all this stuff that I'm grateful for all the years of racing, that I can just go grab a standard KLR 650 or just get a standard T7 or get an old Africa Twin and run over it for an hour and go, we're good. I'll take off across that desert. I think we'll be right.
After an hour, let's do it.
Yeah.
Do you think that self-reliance that you had to have living where you live, do you think that's made you a better global traveller?
I think so, because I've gone into so much stuff oblivious, and if you overanalyze it and over-research it, you go, oh, maybe I won't do that. And before you know it, it'll just be trimmed down to such a conventional path, and you just end up on the tourist route. But that probably comes across in my films, where people are getting to see places that I wouldn't even go, but I end up there. You know what I mean? Like it's just through the willingness to, let's just see what happens. And again, it all comes back to, well, I'm good, my bike's good, no one's saying I can't do it. Let's just go that way. And then you think you're on your own, and some little kid from a village walks out of a hill, and next thing they're serving you food, and you're just having these cultural experiences that you could not buy. And a lot of that's happened for me in the craziest countries: Mongolia, Kazakhstan, Russia. We ended up in one of the Moto Nomads. We just met this stopped for a piss at a bridge, and then next thing this old Russian car just pulls up, and this school principal hops out, goes, come and have a feed. And then next thing we're working with these Russian kids who were building like a camp up in the hills, and they cooked us all this food and teaching me how to speak Russian. And it's just like, just because I stopped for a piss at that bridge. No, you know what I mean? Like it could have just stop at the next town and go to the servo. No, just stop there and look at what stemmed from it. We would have just ridden straight past, and then up in this village was the most Russian experience I could have ever had.
So if anyone takes one thing away with you today, is on your next bike tour, go for a wild wee whenever you can.
Wherever.
Adam, like, every time I talk to you, I've got far more questions than I have time. I'd happily talk to you all day, but I did want to give you guys the chance to already the chance to answer some questions of Adam. So I'd like to throw it out to you. So you were fast on the draw. So have you got to go? And if you could do it nice and loud, because I can't bring the mic over on wires.
Hi Adam.
Nice and loud.
Hi Adam, nice to meet you. We love all your stuff that you do, and one of my favourite series was the Thailand one. That was mental. And one of the things that we picked up from that is the nicknames that you shout out. Our favourite is Rodders. We all love Rodders. So my nickname for you is obviously Adders. My name's Mike. What nickname would you give to me?
Mick.
Oh, come on.
Thanks, Adam.
That's
Mickey?
That's gonna stick.
Who else? Oh, lady here. Avenue.
As an influencer, I'm hoping to work your magic. I've already been to Australia, and it's a wonderful country. For a workaholic partner who's a mad biker, we've got rallies in New South Wales and friends in Adelaide. Is there anywhere between the two that you could recommend for someone to seek a bit of solitude away from people and noise and everything else. It's not.
Oh, you're bang on the.
Just to repeat that,
on the Flinders
people
Ranges.
wouldn't be able to hear. Between New South Wales and Adelaide, is there anywhere you can go and lose yourself on a motorbike?
Yeah, we've got Wollongong in New South Wales, and we've got friends in Adelaide as well. So
Just go straight to Adelaide and go straight up to the Flinders Ranges and blow your whole time in there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's you can get lost up in there for days, and you've got proper outback, you know, plateaus and hills, mountains, real dry, arid Aussie culture, flies, all of it. Yeah,
Aussie salute.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
All right, thank you.
if you've got a short time, I'd blow it all in there in the Flinders.
Brilliant, thank you.
I was trying to come up with this, you know, website for motorbikes back before the YouTube thing even happened, and I don't know, a mate of mine just said, what about motology? And some people think, oh, that's a bit weird, that's a bit too close to Scientology, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I've done all I needed and have wanted to do with racing, and now through, just incidentally it seems, I'm teaching people by trying to come up with content without having to go anywhere. It's like I can't just keep punching out these huge missions. I need filler content to feed the channel, and it's easy at home because I can just grab a bike and, okay, I'll change a couple of tires and tell people how to do it. And so, I don't know, I think it's just come through trying to come up with filler content in between, and then, yeah, I have come close. It's like I'm almost at the cusp of giving people relationship advice or something when I don't. I think it's time to leave if that's what it comes to. But no, I think there is a lot of life lessons in motorcycling and putting yourself out there, and I'm grinding through all the same shit as you guys. The riding's the easy part for me. It's life is the hardest struggle at time, raising kids and building a house and all that, and yeah, maybe some of that filters into the video. Just, I don't know, it just does. I'm not purposely trying to be that guy, but sometimes it just feels like the right thing to say.
We're waiting for the self-help book. It'll be out next year. Yeah. This gentleman here.
Hi Adam. The Himalayan adventure, I think what you're saying about your past and your experiences with your journalism, your cinema photography, and I think you had an interest, a hobbyist in photography as well. I think we're all lucky that we've got you, that all that's come together. And I think that gorge, when you was in you cut out in that rock face, the drone was in the gorge and that footage. Do you think everything that's gone before you is led to this where you are now, and you're making such brilliant, you know, it's YouTube and motology, but it's just fantastic, Kev. You know, you're right at the top.
Yeah, utilising the available technology, and it's kind of the era of self-capture now, and I learnt to do it a long time ago, becoming a journalist and racing the bikes and getting results where I had to start writing myself into the results just through magazines and all the rest. And yeah, I kind of was engineered into this. I don't like the term vlogger, influencer, even YouTuber, I don't even like to say it, but I'm just really passionate about nailing shots of the bikes in epic locations, and just that, I get a real kick out of that. Like some of the tracking shots we got, these tracking shots you're talking about, and you know, don't ride off the cliff, but one eye on the screen. Yep, drone's still tracking, we're good.
Line of sight.
And yeah, there's a lot to it. It's not just hit record. There's a lot of thought that goes into when to put the cameras up, what angle, how to work with it, and it is hard work. If you felt the weight of my camera bag, you probably start to get a bit more of an understanding of. Again, it all comes back to the years I put in with racing, because for me, really, that's the easy part, and I like knowing that, okay, we got there that day, we got the 800 Ks, with 300 Ks tomorrow. We've got to get to this location. There's a mad mountain range there with a lake. Got to get up there by this time, get those shots in the hard drive, get out. And yeah, I don't think I would have been able to piece it all together so colourfully without the ability to just pack all that gear up, bank another 200 Ks, get it out, get it in the air, nail the shot, keep moving. It's quite a hectic schedule and a lot of work.
You do all your own editing as well?
Yeah, I have tried with other editors, but just not being able to afford to have someone, like I need to pay for another me to keep that signature, and I think it's paid off. It's a lot of work, but I get a lot of people. I'm not huge numbers on YouTube, but most of the people that discover my channel seem to be like, where have you been all my life, sort of thing. Like, the best incentive to keep going is that people really appreciate the quality of content, and I don't want to just dumb it down and vlog and just be another one, because it's filling up. Everyone wants to do it. I'd rather just keep putting the work in and keep searching for those cinematic shots. I love movies. I love watching movies with my kids, and I want it to be more about the bikes that I'm on than look at me. It's, yeah.
Well, it works. My wife hates motorcycles, but some nights we'll sit there. What do you want to do? You want to watch a Netflix movie? And she'll go, no, watch that Madman, Adam. That's it. Both of us sit there.
You're happy, she's happy. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be called a madman every now and then.
Oh, like it's pretty obvious, and I think I explained yesterday. It is pretty full on. Again, I wouldn't put myself in that pressure to get to these locations, if not for the, I'm not riding over my head. The main goal is to get home to my kids, but in doing what I'm doing, I've got the best gear. Like I know my bike's ready, I know it's capable, and I just want to get to those locations and showcase the bikes that not everyone's doing, and you're not really going to achieve that without having a skill set that's based on nearly 30 years of racing bikes and filming and photography. So
we appreciate it because we thoroughly enjoy the content. Our next talk, we're talking to Simon and Lisa Thomas, Two Ride the World. They're talking about crossing Australia.
How often is he in the barn? Good to see you, Simon. Bye. Thank you.
Hope you haven't got to push you that often.
No, I'm going to sneak out.
Thanks for the chat, everyone.
Thank you, Adam. If you've watched this video and liked, don't forget to hit the like button, click and subscribe. Thank you for watching.